ask you for it may ask you it may ask you for a copy of your DD 214 or ask you to send it. If you have already sent that in, you're already a Homegrown by Heroes and you just need to renew, either call myself, call Allie, or just let either Chad Smith or Alex Floyd with Kentucky Proud Program, let them know. But this program here, this is for anybody that is active military and also our veterans, and they can use this Homegrown by Heroes, and it's going to make you stand out from just a normal Kentucky Proud member. So along with that, we've been real excited about getting to partner in with K-Card and the Kentucky Sheep and Goat Development Office and also the Kentucky Horticulture Council in developing the Kentucky AgVets program. This program has been a great program for our veterans and our active military partners and everything to work together with farmers, work together as a mentorship. And so I know Allie goes to Fort Campbell, and I'll let her tell a little bit about that too. She goes to Fort Campbell at least once a month or twice a month to work with a lot of personnel there and just setting up, kind of just educating them about the agriculture fields and some opportunities and everything to go into. Allie, you want to talk a little bit about some of the Fort Campbell visits and the block parties that you do? And
Sure, yeah. Spencer and I collaborate on the Fort Campbell CSP recruiting. So part of the AgVets program that we have, we focus on internships and mentorships. So we have farmer to farmer mentorship program, but we also recruit military personnel transitioning out of the Army, looking for work to ag jobs. And so you guys know one of the biggest barriers to entry in agriculture is that knowledge piece. Is just seeing if like what's even out there, how to do XYZ, what type of equipment, just kind of insider tips and tricks. These soldiers want to get started with growing, want to get started with production, and have no idea where to start sometimes. So we try to connect them with a partner farm 50 miles of post, and get their CSP program to work with that. So it's 8 weeks hands-on before they leave the military. So the military is still paying their salary and everything. So we're trying to also start to work with retirees, like people who are about to retire out of the military as well. Those are people with a lot of time that retirement fund or disability, so they have kind of that extra income already that enables them to be able to farm. And definitely, you know, Ryan's in that position now, he can attest to that. But I even talked to some people today who they all got into growing in agriculture because of their Army retirement funds that they were receiving. So we want to try to target that group more as well. But we've been able to get a lot of people in job placement and internship placement through this program. So we really appreciate K-Card applying for this grant and just doing all the groundwork with that.
Thanks, Allie. Allie's been working extremely hard and everything with that. And I know the last couple of times we've talked, the number just continues to grow and the interest and everything into the program. So we're real excited. Another program that we've got, if anybody is in one of these 54 counties that's listed on here, this is what we call Appalachia Proud. Appalachia Proud is more of an Eastern Kentucky brand. And it goes along with our Kentucky Proud. And all three of these logos can be used, providing that you have submitted all of the information for the Homegrown by Heroes. You can use that Homegrown by Heroes instead of the Kentucky Proud, or you can use both. Same thing with Appalachia Proud. Our folks in Eastern Kentucky, when folks was traveling across the state, they said we wanted something that was going to make our program and our products in our area stand out different from just a normal Kentucky Proud. So that was kind of the birthplace and everything of the Appalachia Proud. We have changed the logo. At first, when the logo came out, it almost looked like snow-capped mountains in the logo. So this is a little bit more true and everything to the Appalachia area. So we're real excited about this program. But if you know of anybody that's in one of these counties, or if you all are located in one of these counties, you can join this program. So talking a little bit about the Kentucky Proud program and what it has to offer. Again, it's a free program for you to join. You know, we just ask some questions and everything for you, and we want to make for sure that information stays up to date. But a benefit to getting that is what we call the point of purchase cost share grant, or a POP grant, or a Kentucky Proud Promotional Grant. And what this is a grant that you can get to help with marketing, to help with advertising. If you're a meat producer, Jewett, I know that you sell beef and everything. You can get a trailer, you can get a truck that you can actually have wrapped. You can't actually buy a truck. Let me rephrase this. You can't buy a truck and a trailer with this grant, but you can get the vehicle wrapped. We've got Cherry Farms from down in Fountain Run, down in Allen County. They've got a trailer that they take to the market. They do a lot of deliveries. They take, of course, to the butcher shop and everything as well to pick their products up. But when they're going down the road, it's a running billboard. Everybody wants to talk about having a billboard. I'm not a big billboard fan because I really don't pay that much attention to billboards on interstate or, locally in town. But the trailer, you're sitting behind it. You've got your logo on it. You've got a picture maybe of even one of your cows or something on it as well. And it's got the Kentucky Proud, or you can use your Homegrown by Heroes. But you can use some of this POP grant and everything for that. It can help you with web development. If you wanted to do a website, it can help you with doing shirts, hats, bags, reusable bags. The only thing is you've got to remember to have the Kentucky Proud promotional, or you have to have the Kentucky Proud logo on that in order to apply for that promotional grant. We had radio scripts, newspaper ads, TV ads, any kind of promotion. But again, make for sure you use that Kentucky Proud even in the script. We had a farmer's market that had a really good ad. They sent the paperwork in to us, and the script said nothing about Kentucky Proud, and it couldn't be paid. So it is a 50-50. You are up to a calendar year. You can apply for up to $8,000 and a lifetime cap of $36,000. We've already got a lot of folks that has already reached over that $36,000 for that. But that's money that's out there that's available for you. Jonathan Van Balen is the contact for that. So if you've got any questions, let us know. I will say on the application, you have to fill an application out. You have to kind of show a direct farm impact. You have to show what you're going to spend it on and then send that into our office. Do not spend anything. Do not get any kind of advertising, anything at all paid before you get approval for that. If not, you cannot apply that towards this. Buy local. And I know we've got a couple of folks on here that actually sells to chefs. They may sell to restaurants. They may sell to schools. The Buy Local program is a program that we have here in Kentucky Proud that if the restaurant, the chef, the food service is participating in the Buy Local program under Kentucky Proud, they source locally from a Kentucky Proud member. What that's going to do is that can give them up to almost 15% of what they purchase back. Now, I had somebody tell me, how is it going to help me? That's, you're giving money back to them. I'm not getting money back. No, but you've got a customer. And a lot of times that customer is going to put your information or your farm name on that menu. We had a lady that they did a blueberry cheesecake, and that was one of the specials, the special dessert. And they named the place or named the farm where they actually had the blueberries from. And so a lady came in, she got that information, connected her with the farmer. And so that gave them a new customer. So just anything that you can get your information out, plus also source. Jewett, you want to tell a little bit about maybe what you are doing with Jim Beam?
So we got involved with Jim Beam. I'm going to tell stories on you, Sharon.
Uh-oh.
So I got involved with Jim Beam a year ago. They decided to build a restaurant on their distillery. We buy dried grains from Beam to work into our feed mix. And so I reached out to Beam and asked them when they were building this restaurant. I said, look, I'd love to provide one thing on your menu. And so along the way, finally got in contact with people there. They brought us in, and I got to talk to the executive chef and the owner that are out of New Orleans. They own QVS. They've got 3 restaurants in Nashville, 3 in New Orleans, and they now run the restaurant at Jim Beam. But we got to talking to them, kind of told them the story. Hey, look, part of our feed mix comes from Beams. You all are opening a restaurant. I'd love to supply something on your menu. that turned into, we want you to provide 100% of our proteins. So we provide all the chicken, all the pork, and all the beef on everything in the kitchen table, which is Beam's new restaurant. They have become Kentucky proud. They've become buy local. So we roughly do about $5,000 a week worth of business with them. And we turn those receipts in, or they turn those receipts in, and that allows them to continue to buy from us. And as they've grown over the last year, we've grown with them. So we've doubled the size of our retail store here on the farm, and we've upped the cattle that we're finishing, and we've kind of grown with them as we've gone along. I guess that's what you're asking me, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't tell on me. And what Jewett was talking about when he said he was going to kind of tell a story on me. When we talk about the Buy Local program, you hear sometimes nightmares on working with either a chef, working with that partnership with the restaurant, and getting kind of an outstanding bill with them or a debt with them that they haven't paid. So I had kind of did a little coaching, I guess, to Jewett and said, be careful, make them pay you up front or make them pay you before you sell anymore. And so, yeah, they proved me wrong, and I'm glad they proved me wrong. But that's something, though, that you want to make for sure. Don't get in too deep. But this Buy Local program has been very supportive of our producers. It has linked so many producers with restaurants, and it just continues to grow and grow. So make for sure that you take advantage of that opportunity. The at cost items, what we call at cost is stickers, banners. We have Kentucky Proud banners. We've got Kentucky Proud shopping bags. So if you sell at a farmer's market, if you sell at a retail, if you've got an on-farm market, you can also purchase bags to use. All of these products, we've got real cool, the veterans, the Homegrown by Heroes banners, the hats, the stickers, and everything as well. Price cards, if you need those. All of these items can be purchased from our office. If you want to come into our office and pick them up, you can do that. Please schedule in advance if you can. You can also send your order in. And now we have on certain products, not all, but certain products, we have to charge sales tax. I guess the revenue cabinet has finally caught up with us. And so we've got to charge some items that's going to be used for products to be sold as sales tax on it. So all of that information is out there on our website. The link and everything there is on the bottom that tells you where you can get it. Donna Baker is great to work with. Donna's in our office, and she can schedule a pickup, or she can ship that order and everything out to you. So talk a little bit about what we do as far as the advertising and the branding. So we've got the Kentucky Proud program. So what we do, we've got the Kentucky Proud funds to where we can go in and we can do a lot of marketing and advertising. So we look for a lot of the seasons the seasons or the times throughout the year. So like your farmers markets, when they get ready to open, our agritourism, a lot of our agritourism is our fall harvest. And so we do special ads, Kentucky Proud Meats. That was something that a lot of folks was looking for during COVID. Folks was wanting that local meat. So we've got a section to where it's what we call as a landing page. If you go into kyproud.com, you can see these landing page. Even through the holidays, we try to support and say buy local, buy fresh. Products, go directly to your producer, and give them a basket of Kentucky Proud products for Christmas. And then also we do our Christmas trees and everything too throughout the season. So that's why we want to make for sure that we've got your information correct in our system, and we can keep adding to that. Agritourism, that is something I don't know how many folks is thinking about doing that, but that's where you pretty much just welcome folks into your farm. It's more of an education, and it's also an enjoyment. Could be farm attractions. The little girl there at the top, of course, that was up to one of our pumpkin patches. We've got Muloff. Muloff is down here in the corner. That is actually a reindeer. We have a reindeer farm over in Bowling Green. Really cool. I went there last year and was visiting with them, and just to watch the kids come in and see the reindeers and everything, and talk to Santa and everything there too. But we've got all sorts of different types of agritourism. We have over 600 agritourism locations. That includes our wineries. That includes our distilleries, our horse farms that we have, our roadside markets, which is Kentucky Certified Farm Market, Kentucky Farm Bureau Certified Farm Market programs. So all of those, even including our farmers markets that we've got, we consider those under our agritourism program. The one thing that we've kind of enjoyed doing, and I didn't even know this too when I first started working here, but when Miss Kentucky becomes crowned as Miss Kentucky, she's an employee of Kentucky Department of Agriculture, and she represents Kentucky Proud. So it's really cool for them to go out and talk about locally grown Kentucky Proud products, because the following that they have on Facebook is so different than what you guys would have, what I would have, even what Department of Agriculture would have, because they have, and I don't want to say city folks, but they have more of the city, more of the urban areas instead of the rural areas. But this has been really cool. Over here to my left, Haley Wheeler was the past Miss Kentucky. Over to the far right, Alex Frankie. She's probably going to be the only Miss Kentucky that had to serve 2 terms because of COVID. She got bored on her second term, actually kind of the end of her first term, going into her second term. So she started going out and videotaping at our farms. She loved to do the video. She was doing all of that herself. So she would go out and do the videos on the agritourism farms and go to the farmers markets, and the outreach that she did was just amazing. Hannah Edlin is our new Miss Kentucky, and she has just jumped right on board and fits right in with all of us. It's been really cute. She likes to do dancing videos. She's even had Commissioner Corals and everything dancing out on YouTube and Instagram. But the people that she reaches out and she gets her message out to, talking about Kentucky Proud, and you never know, she may end up at one of your all's farms. Community supported agriculture is a CSA. And Allie, do you want to talk a little bit about the CSA program, and then I can kick it over to the next screen that talks about the fairs that we did?
Sounds good. So for a full list of active CSAs, it's there's that website at the bottom. There's also kyproud.com/CSA, should take you right to it. But that's the best way, as you guys know, for consumers to support direct to you. So their dollar going straight into your pocket instead of a middleman. And so we try to promote people starting CSAs in Kentucky and also people buying CSAs in Kentucky. So we have this virtual fair twice a year, just highlighting different farms and farm stories. People love to see where their food's coming from. They fall in love with like the pictures and what you guys have to share on social media or through our social media, and they want to support with their money and to pick up a box from you. So definitely, if you haven't done a CSA with us, consider it. Shoot me an email. We can help you get started. But people have really enjoyed that program. And if you offer a CSA and you haven't been featured at the fair yet, let us know too. We would love to highlight your farm. Every year before the event, we send out like a survey of who wants to participate in their farm being promoted during this virtual event, but it's hosted on Facebook primarily. And it's just a great way for us to showcase local food in Kentucky.
And this has been a really cool program because, as you all know, COVID kind of shut a lot of things down, and we had some actually in-person CSA fairs and really kind of going out and trying to recruit. Well, when COVID hit, all of that kind of stopped. So we were trying to think, how can you can come up with something a little bit different. And the virtual fair was what kind of was created. And the partnerships that you see at the bottom there with the Hort Council and Oak, Food Connection there at UK and Edible Kentucky, it's been amazing to work with them and some of the different things that they come up with. So yeah, if you've got a CSA, and we haven't reached out to you or something, reach out to Allie and let her know, and we'll get you signed up. Farm to Fork, don't know if anybody has been to a Farm to Fork event. We have a Kentucky Proud grant that is a Farm to Fork grant, and it pays up to $750 towards expenses of having this dinner. And what the Farm to Forks are, we have a organization, which is a host organization, and they can do a charity, which is a 501c3 charity, and you can raise money for this in your community. And these events have been really neat because they've have them out on the farm, and you can bring folks to your farm. And what that does is that gets you an educational experience. It gets you to have those people on the farm, possibly maybe that they would not even be on the farm. You can talk to, you can tell them what you do. The problems maybe that you have. Don't sugarcoat everything, but you've got them there. You're entertaining them, you're feeding them, they're happy. So you can tell them all about what you do. But this program has been a really neat event that we've had. We've been able to offer this over the last, I think, 5 years that we've done these. COVID kind of shut it down a little bit, but the picture that you see right there on the screen, this is actually at the Greenup County Farm to Fork event. This is their third event. Their first event that they had. Now, this is up in Greenup County. I don't know if anybody knows where Greenup County is, up around like Ashland, Boyd County, up in that area. And the first year, Greenup had about 400 people that turned out for this event. And they were just completely overwhelmed. What this did, this opened up the door to bring the ag community and the business community together. And it got them talking about how can we help? What can we do, whatever, to help things out on the farm? And so then the next year, COVID hit, they decided to do baskets. So they started selling a lot of Kentucky Proud food baskets. So this was the third year. This year, and I still say they probably had close to 1,000 people there. They said about 850, but I still say about 1,000 with all of the volunteers. This actually raised money, $40,000 for 4-H, FFA, and also one of the it's a tourism group. It's a heritage fund that's there that does a lot of special events and everything for that area. But to raise that kind of money off from these events have just been absolutely amazing. So it's a great way to support it. So if you all are interested, let us know. We do have the Farm to Fork program that we are going to be able to offer next year and everything as well. So talking about our farmers markets, that is one thing that Allie and everything works closely with. We've got 174 farmers markets here in the state of Kentucky. Out of 120 counties, we've got 115 that host a farmers market. We're still looking at hopefully trying to get 120 farmers, a farmers market in all 120 counties. What I'm trying to say. I've talked way too much today. But the farmers market's a great way for you to get out, to get your program started, to get your products. If you want to test a product, it's a great way to get that exposure and everything at a farmers market, and then to kind of move on from there. One of the things that Allie has worked on, we offer a farmers market manual and resource guide. This is updated every 2 years. This is a manual that has a wealth of information in it, even if you're not maybe thinking about selling at a farmer's market, but you're thinking about maybe trying to do some home-based processing. So I want to do some baked goods and maybe sell them someplace. Where can I do that? I'm thinking about becoming certified organic. How do I go through those steps? All of this is going to be in the farmer's market manual. If you have a question or something on something that's maybe not in there, reach out to us and let us know. But this is a manual that I'm very proud of. We are a partner with the University of Kentucky. We also partner with the Kentucky Department for Public Health Food Safety. Most of the information that is in that manual is regarding food safety, and we want to make for sure that we've got the most current information for you all. So I'm not for sure how many, but just wanted to do a little touch on this of how many that is going to be selling at a farmer's market. But this may not even really apply just to a farmer's market. This can also apply to maybe just your business. If you want to do an on-farm business, you never get a second chance to make a good first impression. That's anything that you do, but that's your on-farm, that is at your farmer's market. And the things that we talk about on that is making an impression when a customer walks up, giving that customer all of your attention, when they walk up to you. Make for sure that your booth is a good example of what you want to offer. The gentleman that's on the bottom, and everybody's seeing the display, I hope, but the gentleman that's on the bottom, he's not paying any attention to his customers whatsoever. He's not even showing any kind of food safety. He's got potatoes that spilled out. He's got food laying everywhere, a half-eaten apple. Don't know why he's got his shoe off, but he's got his shoe off. So, you know, a lot of people will look at that and say, I don't want that. You look at the gentleman at the top, he's got, it looks like a branding on his shirt. He's got a sign that says Sunrise Farms. He's got a hat that looks like it goes along with all of that theme. Don't forget, you all can do that because you can do that with a Kentucky Proud Promotional Grant. Like I said, I can't really see everybody, but I don't know how much information, but on farmers markets, we always talk about doing sales and displays. You have to make for sure that the customer, you've got to bring that customer into you. So you've got to do a little extra special touches and everything for that. A tablecloth on your table, clean buckets or baskets with your products in it. All of that kind of goes along, though, with food safety. So you want to make for sure that everything, you kind of take pride in what you do and what you set out. So that way you can get your customers and everything to come back to you. Or actually to bring the customers in. So not only all of these things that you've got to do, but if you don't like people, then you may want to just stay on the farm. You may not want to have an on-farm market. You may not want to have a farmer's market. And I can see Chris laughing at me. But you know, if body language, this was something that I went when I first started here at KDA. I've been here since October 2009. My first visits around with farmers markets, there was a gentleman there, had his arms crossed, looked like he was mad at the world, had a table that looked like he had just changed oil out of his truck and had just set everything on the table, had the buckets and everything sitting there as well. Okay, Ryan, you've been there. I can tell you're laughing. But you set all the buckets there. Nothing looked like it was clean, but I'm sure he took pride of what he had and he wanted to sell. No signs. So, of course, you know me, I had to go up and I had to talk to him. First of all, he didn't want to talk to me. He had those arms crossed and he just looked at me like, I don't want to talk to you. I just want at 1 o'clock to get here so I can pack my stuff and go home. And then not only that, but he was chewing tobacco and he spit his tobacco out too while he was sitting there talking to me. You know, those are all things that your customers are seeing. First of all, if you don't have signage up, this is even if you're going to do an on-farm market. If you don't have a sign up, I've got a friend that will not ask you questions. She does not want anybody to talk to her. How many has been into a store and you walk into a store and the first thing they say is, hey, how are you? How can I help you? She doesn't like that. She does not want anybody to ask her how she's doing or if they can help her. She doesn't want that. So there is people that's out there like that. So if you don't have things marked, if you don't have things labeled, they're not going to ask. Pay attention to your customers. And like I said, this is at a farmer's market. This can be your on-farm market or just maybe whatever you want to do. Talk to those customers. Make for sure that they are the first person that you have talked to all day long. Make sure that you appreciate them because what's going to happen if you've got a happy customer, they're going to keep coming back, right? If you've got an unhappy customer, what's going to happen? They're going to tell everybody. There you go, Chris. You got it. They're going to slam you on Facebook, on Instagram, on just Next Door app or whatever. They're going to tell everybody about all of the bad service that they got, all the bad products. So you want to make for sure, just always speak to your customers first. Just be excited about what you do. But listen to your customers. A lot of times you can listen to your customers and they can tell you, you know, my grandmother used to grow this, and that may be something that you've been thinking about growing and it can make a difference. Offer them recipes. We have got some great Kentucky Proud plated up recipe cards with the University of Kentucky Extension Office. They go through a whole testing cycle with those recipes. So those are out there for almost anything and everything that you grow. They will have something available for you. So make for sure that you go out and take a look at those and share those with your customer. Be proud of the logos that you've got, the Kentucky Proud, the Homegrown by Heroes, the Appalachia Proud, any of those that you can use. Logos can make a difference. So how many can identify almost all of those logos that's on the screen? It doesn't even have to have a name associated with it. You can look, of course, everybody knows KFC, the Colonel. And, then you got the Dodge. I did have to put the Dodge truck on there, but I did even it out with that Chevy bow tie. I've got to put that. But okay, Ron, you a Chevy man or Dodge?
If I'm burning gas, it goes in a Chevrolet. But if I'm pulling something with a diesel, it needs to be a Ford.
Oh, Ford. Oh, a Ford man. So, but all of these, this can make a difference when you're at a farmer's market. All right, Jewett, don't pipe in. I can tell you're getting ready to. I know, you're a Dodge man. You go slumming.
I look, I was a Ford man until 2 years ago, and I'm a Dodge man now. But I'm going to tell you right now, I've been a Ford man my whole life. So be careful. You're walking down a slippery slope.
I knew there was something wrong with you. Oh, well. But these are logos and everything that you can use. So when you're out at a farmer's market, when you're out just at Tractor Supply, Rural King, wherever you go, if you've got your farm name, you've got a logo, you've got the hat, maybe you've got the shirt on, that's going to make a difference. That's going to make you stand out from everybody else. Again, don't forget, we got the Kentucky Proud promotional grant. They can help you with all of that. They can help you with the tablecloths and everything too. If you want to do the tablecloths there at the farmer's market, you can put your logo on it. But even the banners that you can get there for the market. One big thing that I know that Allie's is working on doing some training and everything at the Fruit and Vegetable Conference is talking about cash only. We talk to a lot of our producers, and I can understand it. I get it. People says, I want the cash in my hand. I want cash only. This is not the world that we live in now. Unfortunately, everything's either plastic or some type of a money app. Venmo and PayPal, and I've even Square. A lot of folks is even using the Square. I even talked my mom into going into doing the Venmo account, and she couldn't figure it out. She's an Avon lady, and she has sold Avon for years. And I said, you're missing out on customers. So not only do I preach to you all, I preach to my mother too. But I said, you're missing out on customers. And so I set a Venmo up account in my name. And so she started having people send money to me. And I said, this is pretty cool. I'm making money on this. But I proved to her that if she did not offer that option, customers were going to walk away. So sometimes when they say that they're going to go to the ATM and come back, I did have somebody prove me wrong over at Hendry County Farmers Market, and they did come back when I said that they wouldn't. But sometimes you don't have that. If you don't have an option for your customers, they are going to walk away. And that's the same thing if you do an on-farm market to give them those options. So again, this is just a reminder of kind of how we want you to be. We want you to be the guy on top. Your scales, anybody uses scales or anything for weighing anything at the market or even at your on-farm market, you've got to have those certified by Kentucky Department of Agriculture every 2 years. So let us know. And they do need to be marked for legal trade or legal sales. So if you do not have those and you need to have somebody scheduled to come out and look at those, sometimes you can drop them off at the extension office, or sometimes our folks will even come directly to your farm. So let us know and we can get something scheduled for you. Social media has been something huge on the farm for you all to market what you do. Just talking about, I know I'm just a Facebooker. I don't hardly do the Instagram and the Twitter and the blogs and all of that. Oh my goodness. That sounds like a little bitty one, Paige.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. But social media has been a way for you to communicate with your customers. It's been a way for you to get out and tell your story. I know it's got a lot of attention. My husband and I farm here in Franklin County. We've got a beef cow calf operation, just beef cattle. And so we tell a lot of things. Sometimes I don't always share all the bad. And that's probably my mistake and my fault, because I always try to tell everybody, share the good and the bad. But it educates folks, and they'll say, and they ask more about some of our baby calves, and how's the baby calf that you had on the bottle? And they still ask me to this day, the one that you had that was the orphan calf. I just had one over the weekend ask me that. And I said, that was 2 years ago. People remembers this stuff. It's just amazing how they remember it. So things that you do on the farm, share that. Things that you grow, things that you're going to be doing, different changes. Let them follow along with that story.
Hey, Sharon.
Uh-huh.
So something, and K-Card can help with this because we've talked about it, but the analytics of social media and who you're posting it with makes a huge difference. What time you post it to when people see it is huge.
It does make a big difference. We have actually got some trainings. There is a link to some trainings that we have done in the Horticulture Council, K-Card. We've also had the Small Business Association, and we're actually going to have a lady come out at the Fruit and Vegetable Conference talking about that. I actually seen her presentation, and like Jewett says, the certain time of the day, certain days that you post, I can post, and I haven't really figured out the dates yet, but I can post on one day, the thing goes absolutely crazy, and you can get almost 1,000 hits, and you're like, wow. And you post something else maybe 2 days later thinking that, oh, everybody's going to love to see this. Maybe 2 comments or 2 people has seen it, and it's like, what happened there? So it is a certain time, and you can set, and especially too, if you're using it as a business Facebook account, you can go in and you can track, you can get all of the data. It's going to take more than me. Allie can probably help you with that. But there is some trainings and everything that's out there that's available for you on that. We do have
sorry, Jude, I have a question. What have you seen success with engagement in terms of time of day, day of the week with your posting schedule? What have you seen good success
11
with?
o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock in the afternoon is by far my best time to post. Now, if you boost, which Facebook has changed a lot of things now. So if you're not paying money, a lot of times they're not pushing it out like they were, say a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They've cut a lot of that back. But what I'm noticing is between 11 and 1 are the times that I see the most people look at my post and the most responses out of my post. And granted, here lately with where I'm at, Beams has literally sucked up an entire day of my week. When I say that, I mean, just so everybody's kind of aware, at 4 a.m. on Sunday morning, I go to my store and I start processing and packaging and cutting meat and getting everything ready for them. And I'm typically at Beams by 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I know that Sharon said something about a big billboard. I pull into Beams in a 12-foot by 6-foot wide trailer that's got my farm name posted all over it. I park at the bottom side of their balcony and I unload huge big rollers full of meat to take into the restaurant. That's a huge thing for me because it's advertisement for anybody that's eating there. Granted, there's a lot of people there that aren't from this area, so they see it, but we've had a lot of people that are from this area that will leave there and show up at the farm, or a couple of days later show up and say, hey, we seen you all at Beams. We know you're providing the meat. But 11 to 1 has been the biggest thing with Facebook for us. Sorry, didn't mean to jump off on track, but I was kind of filling in where she had said some stuff earlier.
No, you're good. And I asked because I think that's important for people to hear on here, where you're seeing engagement with on Facebook for their profiles and stuff like that. So thank you, Jewett.
There's a lot of people that get up in the morning and look at it. And granted, if I posted it the day before, they may not see it. But I think that where we've seen the biggest the biggest bang for the buck is from 11 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You can push it out to 2, but after that, you're kind of done.
And you can set, and there's ways that you can go in and to review the tracking. Again, we're going to have a session and everything at the Fruit and Vegetable Conference if you all can attend that. We're also going to try and do some recordings. But Hort Council, Kentucky Hort Council, they put a lot of trainings that they do. We've got a lot of sessions and everything that is put out for viewing, and it can help you with information. We try to, like I said, try to put a face on what you do. Remind folks that there's a farmer behind the food that they're getting from you. Carter Howe is, I don't know if how many knows Michelle and Nathan Howe from down in Allen County. I've watched Carter grow up on the farm, and it's amazing to me. He's just graduated high school, but to watch this kid grow up and still work very hard on the farm. Susan Miller, she sells over in Lincoln County, and she puts a post out there every time that the market opens and puts what they're going to have. Audrey is another one. I've watched her grow up from a kid up to selling at the farmers markets, and she loves the farm, constantly always doing something on the farm. So make for sure that you put that face with the food so folks know and they can associate with that. We try to also, not only do we say just what Kentucky Department of Ag has to offer, but we also try to put a lot of different partners that we work closely with. If you are a member of Kentucky Farm Bureau, I know it's just, a lot of people think it's just insurance. They do have more programs than that. They've got a federation side to it than just the insurance side. Federation side is more of the agriculture side. It's more of the voice of agriculture and the farmers and their inputs, and that's where a lot of the policies come from. But they also have a program that's called the Certified Farm Market Program. They are in 27 years of this. There is a membership fee associated with this. I'm thinking $125 or $150 a year. I apologize. I should know, but they have reduced it down. It used to be over $300.
$150.
Okay, I was thinking 150, but I thought I'm not for sure. I need to check and make for sure. Fran would get me for that. But Fran McCall is the program coordinator for that, and Fran does an absolute amazing job with this. This will also give you a little bit more marketing to where they put this in a magazine that goes out to over 450,000 members. And they have usually it's like the centerfold. So the farm market program is right there in the centerfold, and it will have all of the members and it'll have the information about them. But they also have a out-of-state tour that they do, a market tour, and you can go on these folks' farms. You can get a lot of ideas and bring a lot of ideas back home with you. And that's where a lot of our agritourism locations have come up with some of the things that they want to do. And even some of our meat producers doing the on-farm markets, they've come up with this. They do have educational sessions and everything that they have to offer as well. Kentucky Horticulture Council, can't say enough about Cindy Fennison and her staff. They are also funded by the Kentucky Agriculture Development Fund, as well as with the Kentucky Proud program. But they get out and they work with a lot of our producers, a lot of our growers, coming up with education sessions. And they're kind of one of the big partnerships and everything on the Fruit and Vegetable Conference. So again, mark your calendar for January the 2nd through the 4th. The conference actually starts the 3rd and the 4th. And I think Spencer had mentioned that there's going to be an AgVets kind of like a happy hour or a get together networking session on the 3rd. The 2nd, January the 2nd, that is actually the day before everything starts. But what we're doing is we started a farmers market short course about 3 years ago, and just found out that a lot of folks wanted more information. So Allie is going to be doing, I think, a presentation talking about the cash option and what your other options are going to be for shopping. We've got some social media. We also have a panel of farmers markets that's going to be talking about what they do, maybe what some of their vendors do. But also the Hort Council, they've got in with the cut flower growers. That is something that if, you may think about getting into, that has just continued to grow and grow, just the demand for that and just the interest for that. But they also have a farm to school program that they work with. And so they have a lot of valuable information. Bethany, that works for the Hort Council, she does a lot of cooking shows. And so it's really neat to see the things that they have and things that they have to offer. So their website is listed there. You can also go onto YouTube and look at the Kentucky Horticulture Council.
Hey, Sharon,
Uh-huh.
can I stop you for a second?
Sure, do it.
So my first experience with Sharon was to help me get into EBT.
Oh, geez. I didn't know where you were going with that.
It's been a long time. Well, you're talking about this, so I thought I'd bring it up. So they have a way to help any of these producers, anybody that's on here that's a producer, to get into EBT. So 100% of the money that you sell out of your farm market or at home market, whatever, when the state is sponsoring your EBT, is paid for through EBT. And I don't have a tremendous amount of EBT customers, but I've got quite a few. When I first started, a lot of people would call me and ask me if I took EBT, and I did not. And it's a long, drawn out process, and I will tell everybody it's a headache. But if you know the right people that can get you with the right people that's involved, that get you through it and get it done, and you get the machine, and it's 100% covered, and the state of Kentucky takes care of you on that. And it's well worth doing it if you've got that clientele, but you've got to have that clientele for it to be worth doing.
EBT, what Jewett is referring to, electronic balance transfer is what a lot of people know as EBT. But the SNAP program, so the Supplemental Nutrition Assistant Program, which is SNAP, which is also known as food stamps. That has been a program that is available for the farmers markets to accept. Also for your on-farm market, if you're interested in accepting SNAP at that. During COVID, it did make a bit of difference on a lot of our producers because, you know, when you went to the grocery store, what happened at the grocery store? A lot of the shelves were bare. So a lot of folks started turning to our producers and our farmers markets. And so a lot of farmers markets will do either a double dollars program, which will double like the senior program, the WIC program, and these are all nutritional programs, as well as the SNAP program. But if your market doesn't do that, or if you want to take this at your on-farm market, I'm not really for sure what everybody has to offer, but if you have food products, such as anything value added, so if you do any kind of baked goods, if you do any kind of pickles, chow, anything like that, if you sell produce, if you sell dairy, if you sell eggs, like proteins, the eggs, the meats, any of that can be used with SNAP program. Also, if you've got vegetable plants, and that is a fruit-bearing plant or a food-bearing plant. So if you've got green bean plants, if you've got pepper plants, tomato plants, all of those can be purchased with a SNAP card. The SNAP card it can be used, again, at a farmer's market. It can be used at your market. And so what we can do, I've got the steps that you would go through USDA. You have to be set up with them first. They will give you an FNS account number, which is a food nutrition service number. And once you get that number, then we can also get you a free EBT machine. Now, it will not accept credit cards. It will only accept an EBT card, which is a SNAP card. But that is thanks for that input, Jewett. But that is a good way for you to offer something else to maybe other customers. During COVID, a lot of kids that went to school received a PEBT card, which is a pandemic EBT card. And that was for any kids that had free school lunch. That didn't matter if you were a doctor kid, if your dad was an attorney, or if your dad was a farmer, or it didn't matter. Or if your mom was a teacher or something. If you went to that school offered free lunch for any student that went to that school, then you got a PEBT card. That really helped out. And I know a lot of our producers, they had folks reaching out to them wanting to use those PEBT cards. We even had some folks that said, I want to use them, but I want to take the food and donate it to some neighbors, or donate it to somebody, or donate it to a food bank even. So that really kind of made a difference with that.
Hey, Sharon.
Uh-huh.
So last year alone, and I'm going to say the majority of what we did was PEBT, but we did almost $70,000 of sales in nothing but PEBT and EBT last year.
So those are customers that if you said, I can't accept SNAP, I mean, that's money that's going to be walking away from you. If the stores can take it and accept it, so why not take advantage of the opportunity? While we can still get you free equipment and everything, it's not going to be a machine that's going to be yours to own. It actually is going to be a leased equipment. But that is through the state of Kentucky, not our office. It's actually through the state SNAP office. They've got a contract that they work with a company. It does take a little bit of going through and getting everything approved. Once you start the process, you don't want to drop that process. You want to continue that. But just reach out to me, holler at me, and we can get you through all of that. Another group that we've got is the Kentucky Office of Agriculture Policy. They work with a lot of our farmers markets to build a farmers market pavilion. So a lot of times if you go around to different counties and you will see actually a new building, you will find out that sometimes that money has come through KOAP, and it's ag development funds.
Yeah, you never know where he is. And I need to put new batteries in that flashlight too. There's another one in there that's the one's a little.
So we've got also our fund programs again, the KOAP, the Ag Development Funds, that has provided funds for CFA, for Grow Appalachia, the Hort Council, K-Card, and again, our Kentucky Proud program. So I don't know how many of you all have reached out, but CAPE funds is county program funds that you can get for like livestock, on-farm waters. A lot of times those are programs that is county money that is worked through the Cattlemen's Association, but it also could be through the Soil Conservation Office as well. But call and find out if your county offers those programs, because those are funds and money and everything that you could be missing out on. I just went and attended a meeting today. It was a stakeholders meeting talking about the large animal vet, and I heard somebody mention that earlier, but talking about the shortage for large animal veterinarians. Not every county has a large animal vet, and I know here in Franklin County we don't. Everybody has went to small animal. So we're lucky enough though that we've got surrounding counties, Shelby County and Anderson County, that we are able to work with. But I know in other counties or whatever, they could be an hour, 2 hours away. And sometimes the vets just don't service those areas. So it makes it a little bit difficult. So that is some things that KOAP is working with Commissioner Quarles and having a lot of meetings and talking to our producers and just getting those stakeholders of what can we do. And that's also something too with the meat producers. Not having, during COVID, we ran into and found out that there's not enough processors out there for the meats. And so that's another step that they've came up with, funding for those meat processors to go to the next level. Instead of doing custom, going directly to doing USDA inspected, which is actually a big step for them to do. So it's little things like that money goes towards and these programs offer. K-Card, I can't ever say enough about K-Card. That is the Kentucky Center for Agriculture and Rural Development. We have 3 joining us tonight that is on the K-Card team. We always appreciate them. They work, of course, with the AgVets program that you guys are part of. They can also help you with business planning. And so a lot of times if you call into our office, Allie and myself, you'll hear us kind of recommend, well, if you're thinking about doing this, if you're thinking about changing this or starting this, have you contacted K-Card? K-Card is just a wealth of knowledge of developing that business plan and pointing you in the right direction instead of you starting and then having to take all these back steps. But just Taryn and Allie and Spencer has been just absolutely great to help our producers to put them on the right way. If you're thinking about what kind of legal incorporation should you be, an LLC, how should you be set up? But they do a lot of workshops. They also help you with grants. And I've been told several times that when I say they help you with grants, they will not write the grant for you, but they will help you to see if maybe what grants could be available for you. But absolutely great resource for you to reach out to. Community Farm Alliance, CFA, they have worked with a lot of our farmers markets to provide a farmers market support program, so a market manager. Also, they do a double dollars program that will double funds for the senior, the WIC, and the SNAP program. That is for farmers markets only. They do a lot of workshops, a lot of trainings. We do have one coming up in it's hard to think it's 2023, but 2023 Eastern Kentucky Farmers Conference, February the 24th and 25th. It's on a Friday and Saturday. Make for sure that you mark your calendar and everything for this. We'll be getting more information. If you like to square dance, they had square dancing last year. It was a lot of fun. It's a really good networking conference. And you will find out, even though you don't want to set in workshops and trainings and stuff all the time, the big advantage of getting involved and going to the East Kentucky Farmers Conference, the Fruit and Vegetable Conference, even maybe the Kentucky Farm Bureau annual meeting, talking to other farmers, talking to other folks that are in the business, and just networking with everybody, you can get the information. So mark your calendar for the February the 24th and 25th. We'll have more information coming. Kentucky State University land grant program, Joni Nelson and all her crew over to the land grant. They just a wealth of knowledge. They do what is called the Third Thursday thing. And that's exactly the name of the training that they have. Every third Thursday, they offer a training there on the farm, Kentucky State University Research Farm here in Frankfort. They will feed you. They will feed you lunch. But the sessions that they have, they bring in special presenters and everything, talking about maybe just different things from organics to pawpaws to goats to other livestock, to talking about aquaculture. They even had a big AgVets conference and everything over there too. So we try to get that information out. They do have small scale farm grants. Joni Nelson is a contact person for that. And if you're looking at, it will not pay for a tractor or a truck, but possibly some equipment. So if you're looking at maybe doing the plastic layer, maybe at a rototiller or something, just different things that they may have. I know one of my producers wanted to do a grist mill to grind cornmeal, and they paid for the grist mill for him to get. But they do a lot of ag education. They do a lot of sessions, and also certified organic farming, a lot of trainings on that. They do have a third Thursday coming up that's part of the small farm minority conference that they're having this week. But look at their schedule and see if it's something that you may be interested in going to. Then with the University of Kentucky, we have an extension office in all 120 counties. They are such a great resource. We always say when somebody's thinking about getting into farming, I just inherited this farm. I don't know what I can do. I'm not from this county. We always recommend for them to reach out to the Soil Conservation Office, to their Farm Service Agency, as well as to their Cooperative Extension Service, because they are in that county. They know, and they probably may even know about their property. But they do a lot of market ready trainings. Market ready training is a training program that if you have already been selling, maybe just off the farm, and you're wanting to go to retail and expand your business, you can do that with the market ready training. Dr. Tim Woods and his staff does an amazing job with that. Sorry, I'm here at the office and the doors just opened. We've got market price reports. You can do farmers markets and produce auctions. They do a report of those. And so that'll help you kind of get a price and everything for some of the products that you may have. Big, huge supporter of our farmers markets. A lot of extension staff, our farmers market managers or support groups. They do a lot of cooking demonstrations. But also, if you haven't visited, go into the Center for Crop Diversification. They've got some great resources and everything for you to reach out to, and some newsletters. Sign up with Brett. Brett will supply you with all of that information. Just wanted to touch a little bit on this. Raising Hope is a grant that we had received, plus also just kind of the program getting started, talking about farmer health, mental health and wellness for our farmers, suicide awareness and everything as well. Sometimes it's a hard subject to talk about, but we have realized that a lot of our farmers and a lot of our farm families have been struggling. So this has been a partnership that we have worked with a lot of the University of Kentucky, University of Louisville, Western Kentucky University. The one thing that has been really cool that has came out of this, I started working with the program a little bit of getting nursing students out onto the farms. We've done some farm tours. We've been out on Jewett's farm. We've been over to Jericho Farmhouse over in Henry County. And just to have the farmers talk about what they go through on a daily basis, walk them through the farm and see where the hazards are on the farm. Just talking about the stress. I know Curtis Combs from over in Henry County at Jericho, he was talking about when they had to sell out their dairy herd. He was a dairy operation and they had to sell their herd. And he gets very emotional every time he talks about it because he knew that was something that was going to be in their family for generations. So they open up and they share their story. Jewett, we just had them out and they just walked through the farm and looked at all the hazards of, the PTO, how somebody could possibly get tangled up in a PTO shaft, just in an auger. You've got your grain bins, just talking about all of this. What that's going to do is the nursing students, it's really going to kind of sink into them and getting the thank you cards back and talking. Sorry, somebody is here with me. But just getting them talking about the support and just learning about things that can happen on the farm. And so the nursing students have absolutely loved this program. And I think our farmers have enjoyed it as well. They get to kind of share a lot of their stories. And so this has been a good program. So this is something that you're going to continue to hear. And beware, you may get a phone from Sharon Spencer that may say, we want to come on your farm and let the nursing students and everything come around and talk to you. And just so that way you can teach them and show them. And so you never know, you may have to go to the ER and, we've just told them, be patient with our farmers. A lot of times it takes our farmers a big push to have to go to the ER. Even if you've got, your hand cut or, you're going to wrap it with either an old rag or something, and you're going to keep on working. So I know we've been there, and I'm married to one of those that is like the Tim, the Tool Man Taylor, accident prone. And so it's just that program has been just a big plus. So beware, we may be reaching out to you guys. I know we've got a lot of guys on the phone, on the call today, but we also have a few ladies. Kentucky Women in Agriculture is another opportunity for networking and to work with other ladies getting into the business. This has been some that one was a tobacco grower, and she said she went home and she said, I told my husband, we're not going to do tobacco no more. I'm doing flowers, and it brings in more money than what the tobacco did. So this has been anytime you get that networking opportunity, this is how you can follow us. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We also have our website. Don't forget, if you have not renewed your Kentucky Proud membership, go into kyproud.com and get that membership and everything renewed. And then finally, my contact and Allie's contact. If anything that we can help you with, if we don't know an answer or anything to it, we will reach out and see if we can possibly get you an answer or pass you to somebody that will know more than what we do. But